Yo, man, it's the Mill, man. Tapping in, man. It's just food for thought, man. So much stuff been, be going across my mind, and you got people covering a lot of different genres, man. And this is my first time I actually say I'm gonna chime in on a certain genre, and it's prison stories, right? From the time, man, I was 7, 8 years old to now, and I always had close, family, friends, partners, big homies, that done did time. I got one that if you add up his time, he done did damn near going on 40 years. So he's like, yeah, going on down that 40 years. He's like, I got one that did 30 years, years of life. I got a few of them that did 20 straight flat. You know what I'm saying? Went in a teenager, got out. You know what I'm saying? They almost 40 years old. But this one particular, you know, about the other side, like, or not the other side, but what kind of, where the person turn it to when they get down that road. You got a lot that know how to get down there and live off the land. They transfer from what they know in the streets to and now, and they make it happen. You have to be built a certain kind of way. You have to move a certain kind of way. You got to know how to politic. But this particular one, I'm gonna tell you what at the end, but he done been since I done known. When I met him, he just got out, did 15. But since that 15, he done been back down the road 3 times, 2 times, and I just sit up and thinking, man, for him, I'm just saying for him, and then I'm pretty sure there's a few more, a lot more. It costs more for him to live in now than it is out here on the street because he need more when he in now. So that already tell me what type time he on. You know what I'm saying? He on some, as we call it in the South, J time. He down there getting high. You know what I'm saying? He ain't programming. He ain't trying to do better. You know, down the road behind the walls is like a second home to him. And when a person call you like he called and needs so much, ain't no telling what he down there doing when he can't get it. He got his folks, his family members, the few he got left, and he had very few left. I said at the most five, and I done five, probably 2 or 3 of them deal with him, and it just depends on how they feeling. Cause he always calling for that. He'll go down the list on from $50 on down to $10. He got 2 aunties that he know when they get their money every month like clockwork, and he had no shame about it. Like he had me in rotation for a minute because I mess with him. You know what I'm saying? But I had to cut him off. I know people that did time with him that he done burnt them out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I look around, man, bro, I need me. Or they gonna do this to me. And that's one of the things, man. He's so creative when he think you green or he think he know you will say yeah or something like that. He come with some of the most fabulous story, man. One time, and I had to tell it, you know, and I hate to say it, I had to let the folks know, man, like he running one of y'all. He called one day, man, auntie, man, if I don't pay these folks, I think it was like 30, it was $50, and I actually paid the debt. I talked to the dude, and he like, well, woo, woo, woo. But I knew it was a skit. I know it was over what he owed. He wanted what he owed and a little more. But me and dude had a little quick little rapport, and he was like, bro, I respect you because you word, you know what I'm saying? You said this and you did this, you know what I'm saying? But I told him at the same time, still being me with a heart, man, do me a favor, man. When he get to a certain point, cut him off. This when I was still kind of dealing with him. You know what I'm saying? I gave him a little $50 spot every month. $50 spot every month. He get over that, bro, cut him off. So this one he was at a certain camp, and I want to say this camp he was at was it was I want to say Draper. He was at Draper, He did Draper, Limestone. He didn't go to Holman. At one point, he was permanent party kill, and that's the process. That's just the processing center. But if you ain't got no major time or no crazy, situation, that's when you become a permanent party there. Like you so low, that you ain't got to go nowhere else. But he just sit up on the phone, man, and had these folk tell these folks, man, they got me in. I'm listening to them tell these folks that they got me in. Damn, they go beat my brains out. They probably go kill my auntie. Did. And I'm just like, man, and when he's saying stuff like that, I ain't really get involved. But I really didn't get involved too many times. But once he just got to the point of where they sent this dude $400 in 1 week one time, and the way his people are living, barely making it, but they sending him money because he coming with all these type stories, you know, uh, it just kind of got to him because his grandma, as of today, and he's still doing it. His grandma is like 88 years old. She in the hospice bed, dementia, you know, and she done got to the point to where she is now. She think he's still a little boy, and she understand at times that where he at, and then other time she think he had a job and he needs some money to eat. So they can't really tell her because day by day is a day by day thing with that dementia thing. You know, even when I go over there, I don't never expect her to call me by name. So when I come and say I speak to her and tell her I love her, and she go automatically tell me she love me back, and hug me and whatever. She a great woman, you know what I'm saying? This the opposite color, this lady here's the opposite color. So now you know. But she's been a great woman. I've been knowing her about 20 years now, before she started having other dementia and stuff like that, treated me like one of her own, you know. But that family came from money. When I say came from money, his grandparents had a thriving company, AC and heating company, and you could tell how they, act, that they used to having things when they asked at their fingertips. I don't care if it was right or wrong, with their grandma, long as they in the safety of the house, but they doing dangerous stuff. I'm gonna put it like that. But I didn't see this dude when he was on the street, man, get beat up, and he didn't care about nothing. But after that whooping, as long as he got this, he alright. We ain't gonna say what it was, but y'all can fill in the blank. But today, man, he got an auntie. I went to see the grandmama today, and she's sitting in the bed, hospital bed. This lady ain't probably ain't been out that bed, man. I don't know, 2 months. She get changed or whatever. It's just sad to see the woman that I met and now over the last almost 20 years. And he called today, and his auntie wasn't gonna answer the phone. I said, let me talk to her. So I told him, I said, bro, you act like you don't care about nothing but what you want. And that's true. They don't care about nothing what they want, man. You ain't got much time out here. Your grandma ain't got too much time, more time out here. The way things going. And you ain't asking how she doing. You talking about send you some money. I said, bro, you real selfish. You real selfish. Your pride is all about you day by day. You want to get high every day. So right before this, he called one time. He called me one time, and I was like, what you got going on? Did him like I did the first time. Like, hey, who you supposed to be? And you got down here in these prison systems, depending on where you at, but Birmingham is a car that everybody know. You got Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, and certain little places in, Alabama, but it's mainly Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile. They already know what time it is with Birmingham people or whatnot. You know, It's a rivalry thing. I think between Birmingham and Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? But not saying they don't get along, but they quick to get on. They call it the gump. Type time, and a war might break out. You know, life flight at this, especially at Limestone, Holman. You know what I'm saying? Draper. Stuff like that. But in any prison around the world, games be played, penitentiary games be played. It can happen to you. It 9 times out of 10 it go happen to you. I got a cousin down there now, man. Got hit 26 times and lived, but he ain't the same. But he was once a terror, in the prison system, in the AOC, you know, Alabama of correct, Alabama of correction, But his situation was so crazy where people were saying he was out of here, but they hit him so bad the way he barely make it, and now he ain't all the way right because they did him so he lost so much blood and coded, and they brung him back. But he one that really don't bother nobody. I got another homeboy. He come with the, as we call, skits. You know what I'm saying? They call them penitentiary games. He had, you know, cause that's my big homeboy. I try to help me. He hit me every now and then, but he hit me every now and then. He used to get me to go get them little Apple Pay cards. I go and get him $100 one, $50 one, this, and he come with, man. I met this girl. She said that with this much amount of money, she gonna be able to give me this amount of money. And I'm like, I did it 2, 3 times. I'm like, man, hey, send me a picture of this girl. And this how I found out he was running one on me. This like third time. So he sent me a picture. But the picture is behind the text messages that they were saying. I said, no, send me a picture of her without the messages. Just send me a picture. And my intuition kicking in. I'm like, okay, bro, I appreciate that. I'm gonna call you when I get ready to go up there and get the little card. So this was like in 2018, this before the pandemic. So I go up and he sent me this. I was talking to my old miss about it. I said, man, this I'm talking about a nice looking woman, man, look exotic, like she's something else, Brazilian or something else. And I'm like, man, so I take the lady picture and run it through Google. And it's a porn star. So I to show my old lady, and she was like, "No," and I'm like, "Yeah, man. He done ran it on me." So, I gave him. I got the Apple Pay card for him, but when he got the number, they okay, go get the number, do whatever they do. I'm gonna call you back in a minute. He called me the next day, and when I told him, I said, "Hey, bro, where you meet this lady, man? How long you been talking, man? You been talking about 6 months, this. And, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm finna have me this many racks, that many racks, this. And I'm like, bro, you ain't finna have nothing. He was like, what? I said, bro, you ain't finna have nothing. He was like, man, what you on? Then when that saying first started, man, I don't know what you on. So I'm like, bro, that lady name such, man. That's a porn star. And he tried to, oh no, bro, this, that. I'm telling you this. I said, bro, at this time he had a hickey. He had a phone. We called him hickeys. So I said, bro, send him the picture. I ain't sent him the picture. I sent him a trailer of her that she was starring in. He ain't hit me back for a month. But then when he did hit me back, he wanted to make like somebody catfished him. Now it probably did happen. Probably did happen. But as smart as he is, this man had been down 3 times. This man then had life hanging over his head. And in that now, and cause the law changed and he ain't had no violent crime, he go come home. But they gave him life then, this time. But he finna come home. And I'm like, bro, like, no, bro, and all that money, man. Somebody I told Boo Boo, whoever it was, bro, you know who it was. It was you. It wasn't no her. It was you running the skit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it, penitentiary game, man. As a lot of folks say, you know, and one in particular, shout out, you know what I'm saying, to Joe T, man, is that if you ain't been, you never want to go. Because they get creative in that. You know, they know how to make this, to do this, to make a radio, earphone sound like, you know, you got a house stereo. You know, they very intelligent and they will use it, you know, for gain, you know, for themselves and eat, like as I said, eat off the land, and they'll use it to trick you. You know, good game. They'll catch, you know, these female these days, they love to jump on these social apps. Hey, they on now. I remember one time when it was a certain app out. I don't know if I need to say its name or not. But man, if you didn't jump on that screen FaceTime and didn't have no white on or no cell, you know, look like you in no cell. All them females wasn't talking to you. They ain't want nobody out on the street. They wanted somebody behind them bars. And it was serious. And them females were cashing out on them dudes. I ain't hating on it at all. I don't, hey, do what you do to make it. You know what I'm saying? But that situation was personal with me and homeboy, so, you know, but going back to, you know, the dude who I was talking about, you know, the little Caucasian guy who I be around his family, I go and check on their grandma and their auntie or whatnot. He and I already got their money planned out, so whatever he owed them and now, he now already got from them, so he already in debt. But what if they don't give you your money? He had a brother down there that did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And they did him in, and he went in. He did 17 the first time, came out normal. He went and did 5 the last time. Now he on medicine, bipolar schizophrenic. Bipolar schizophrenia. He had to take. You know what I'm saying? He ain't. He said, man, this last time, because it was a different generation. They went in the 90s, got out, went in them 2000. The one I'm talking about that just called it auntie, man, he came home. He was a stocky dude, you know what I'm saying? Man, that this boy that fine, I went and picked him up from the bus station, the Greyhound. If this dude didn't come out, get in the car looking like a Greyhound, you know, I supposed to drop them off at the racetrack, ribs showing, you know what I'm saying? You know, some face sunk in. And I'm like, boy, they were down there starving you. You know, it's a couple of things on there, but boy, they were down there starving you. Then don't meet people that did time with you. They telling me different little things about you and, you know, how you used to get beat up in and all that type stuff. Like, I'm like, man. And now you in there, like you cool with it though. As long as you get you a couple of dollars, I guess that's his way to escape. But he has no, I'm talking about no increment or even motivation on changing his life. I said, bro, probably like 48, 49, finna touch 50. He has no inkling of changing his life. His brother, the one that the 5 years kind of really did him in, and he lost a couple of people while he was in there. He lost his old lady while he was in there. You know, rest in peace to her. You know, to a, you know, overdose, and I get it, but he ain't been back. He ain't been back, and he said he ain't going back. But this dude here will get out and go right back. If he don't go right back, he's sitting in St. Clair County. Like he's sitting in St. Clair County right now. I forgot about St. Clair. That where he was at St. Clair too. But he he just like it's normal. Long as he can get him, you know, whatever. But the games people play, man, down that road behind the wall, man, it like I said in the beginning, it like it costs more for y'all to live in now than they do out here. And they don't have to pay no lights, water. They get fed 3 times a day, you know. But that don't make it easy. It's just you gotta know how to move. But I'm just saying, I'd rather be out here with the struggle of how to eat and, you know, than to be in there. You know, anybody with a a sane mind, I think that's that's how they roll. That's I mean, straight up, that's how they roll. But he is so comfortable now, man. Not just thought about this. Like I said, man, they just people get institutionalized for real. My big homie who I told you about, who got the skit ran over, he he out of all the years he's been, he probably seen two other penitentiaries, but he stayed the whole time. He even stayed in level 5, Holman, Limestone, St. Clair. You know what I'm saying? And he got yeah, he had a situation down there. They hit him 16 times. Try to take him out of here. I don't know what it's about. Ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? But he could have been out. But he don't wanna. He. I ain't gonna say he don't want to get out, but he's smart. He got himself out off life twice. No cooperation. Just knowing how to file them appeals and file motions and stuff like that. He did it 2 times. And finna do it the third. Only thing he had to do is to pay a lawyer $600 to file that paper for him. He won't do that. He wants to give him the $600, whatever he got going on down there, and do that way instead of he could have been out 3-4 years ago, you know. But the games they play, man, down there from with the women to the COs to the family and friends in the free world. You sit there and watch the crowd that got their back and will bust a move for them just dwindle. And I done seen it so many times, man, so many times. You know, and I just don't get it. How can it cost more? Cause it ain't just say if it's me and some more people. It ain't just me. If you hit me for $20 and 6 more people for $20, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you got you $120 in one day, and you didn't even make phone calls. The people out here working jobs don't make $120 a day or better. I'm just saying the least. Some of them, man, in the Fed, they run across a couple thousand. But even in the state, a good day, they can put the piece together, $200, $300 in one day. Just calling. And I just don't get it, man. Like, I just don't get it. It's a real, true form of instant gratification, self-gratification. It ain't about what you doing or what you got going on out in the world. And now, what you got to do to make it? No. Let me get 20 of them dollars. Let me get 50 of them dollars. And that could be, and they're straight up, man, bro, I got to pay it, man. Man, but yeah, I understand that, man. But all I need is, because I really need to get this. They hit you with all that, bro. I'm telling you, they go, I need this so I can do this. They go hit you with the fast talking and the flim flam, you know what I'm saying? They go hit you with it. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm an 80s baby. 8 on the dot. I done seen it a long time. And I done seen before this generation. I done seen a lot of them boys go down there and come out swole and stout. And wasn't calling home like that. Maybe, I ain't gonna say they went, but yeah, they wouldn't come on like that. But they had folks that made sure they had stuff on their book. That's when they had to come to the book. And wasn't no cash app and green dot and all that. Just on their book, what they got on their book, and you gonna have so much on your book. But now they come on looking like, man, a racing dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to take them to the dog track and put a bet on them. Like that little, like, they rather rather get high than to eat. And yeah, that's a flip mind, really flip mode, like that boy Buster said, flip mode. Yeah, you ain't in your right mind, man, right state of mind. But I know there's kind of some jumbling and jibber jabbing, but I don't get these dudes, man, that go down the road and then expect the world to take care of them for a mistake they made. I didn't do it, but as somebody I heard once, somebody said once before, they go take you to prison with them. They gonna take you to prison with them. If you cool with them and they get something at you, they take you to prison with them. You down there with them. Every problem they got, you got. They go hit your phone, hit your phone. Whether it's the wall or whether it's a, you know. But I was just sitting up thinking about that, man. Already, this lady ain't got her money, even got her money. He already talking about what he need. So as soon as she say yeah, he been go over there and yeah, but what if something happen? I done heard a story because I said one. I done ran into two or at least three people that were down the road with this particular person I'm talking about, and yeah, he used to tell me how they used to whoop him black and blue, and he took it and some other thing, but yeah, man, you know, I think I'm gonna start a little something on this end, but this just a little, hitting the surface of it. And like I said, I know I'm rambling, but you know, we know they said down now, if a bus is 60, they ain't playing. Ain't no playing on F. You know what I'm saying? Cause they ain't got them, ain't nothing, but they got something that probably, go in your stomach and come out your back, and they scared to use it. I got a little partner, man, did 20, got out, now muscle on him, but wanted to be played with. They call him Little Shank down now, and he back down now, self-defense, because he was a felony. Hey, you know, it is what it is. But it's the mayor, man. I'm out here, man. Big salute, big salute, big salute.